Hi, my name is Karl. I live here in Utah, and I was diagnosed with Stage II Prostate Cancer, and severely affected by it to the point that my quality of life was practically nil. And it really affected me over the last couple of years. So I was interested in trying to figure out a natural way, without doing surgery, without doing any kind of chemo, without doing any kind of anything toxic, to kind of figure out this problem I had called Stage II Prostate Cancer. I'm 59 years old, so it's actually more common than you think. But it started to affect my daily life to the point where I couldn't leave the house, couldn't work, couldn't be there for my family. And so I was pretty down. I was definitely at the bottom of the barrel when I received a call from a good friend of mine, and who's a veteran and who absolutely opened up a clinic called Revival Hyperbarics. And he tricked me to coming into the clinic, said he needed to help, and I'm always willing to help. These are all good friends of mine. But I didn't know he had a clinic. So when I showed up, he began to tell me his story about why he started Revival Hyperbarics and how he went through it himself. And, it was a strange coincidence in that when he was talking to me, without even knowing everything about hyperbarics, I knew I had found a solution. And I had tried everything. Like, I had researched everything, and nothing was working. Absolutely nothing. And he knew I was hurting. He could see it on my face. And we dove that day. He got me in, and we dove that day. And I'll never forget the feeling after the first treatment, the amount of peace I had, because I had been struggling so much with prostate cancer that I had developed a certain amount of PTSD, because you don't have a sense of purpose. You can't work. You can't be there for your family, like I said. And it was more than difficult. And those were new things that I had to overcome, knowing that I had finally found a solution. I didn't know anything about the research about hyperbarics. I did do one thing that I thought I did right, which was to trust Revival Hyperbarics. I literally had to just let go and trust that he knew, and that he had my back, and then he had even medicine behind it. And it made sense to me, because the two things we need more than anything in this world is oxygen and water. And so what better solution than to make sure your body is, inundated with the things that you need most, these two living forces. And so I began to dive. He put together a regimen for me, 5 days a week, and we would dive for an hour and a half. And every time it was just like the heavens opened up a little bit more each time. And we had worked out an aggressive plan, and I began to sleep. I started to enjoy a better quality of life. I didn't have to take bio breaks every 30 minutes. That was keeping me up. All of a sudden, it went to like 4 hours, then 6 hours, then 8 hours. And, I think what was most interesting is how emotional I got when I actually had somebody that talked to me about this great thing called hyperbarics that actually changed everything for me. It's hard not to get emotional about it, because I really was in a bad way. And hyperbarics made a lot of sense. And I guess one thing that's important to me is that, I knew Wren from Wren from before. He started Revival Hyperbarics because I know who the kind of person he is and what he wanted to do and how he wanted to help. But what was really cool was I could trust that. And then the difference between him and maybe some of these other physicians that I talked about is they actually care, right? Put together a plan for me that I knew would absolutely work. Did it for 6-7 months. I took my blood tests at the beginning, took a full toxicology report afterwards. And just so you know, my numbers, my PSA numbers for my Stage II prostate cancer were off the charts, more than 3 times what they should be. After 6 months, once I had my blood test, they were within normal parameters. They were completely below what it should be for a 60-year-old. I am 59, soon to be 60, and I know this is, can be considered normal. Not to me. I mean, I own my life. I wanted to own my health, and Wren helped me get back into the fight. Revival Hyperbarics helped me get back into the fight. And now my quality of life, I'm able to work again. I'm able to work out again. I'm able to be physical again. And I just don't know anybody that wouldn't want to do this. And I talk to everybody. I'm the biggest testimony walking around because I no longer have stage II prostate cancer. I just don't. And I'm grateful to Revival Hyperbarics for that. But I mean, that's the gist of it.